Hello there. So here are my thoughts for the Diablo 4 beta or beta, depending on how you pronounce it at your place, weekend. So I did do the 2 weekends of Diablo 4 beta gameplay. So at the first weekend, I did the rogue and then shifted to a magician. And then on the second weekend, I just did a necromancer basically. So I chose them more because of the effects. So TLDR, basically, I wanted to give input for those casual gamers, right? People with, with not that much time to play around. So similar to me, I had, stuff going on. So TLDR for those casual gamers. The last ARPG I played is Diablo 2. I totally even forgot about it. So it was basically fighting Diablo. But so yeah, I would just put that in that framework where I haven't played any ARPGs since then. Mostly I played FPS games or those action like God of War type thing. Yeah. So just put that in that kind of perspective. So for Diablo 4, it has good graphics. The gameplay was very good, and I did have fun with those two beta sessions where it was enjoyable for me to start with any character and then just work with the storyline that they have and then be able to finish the campaign. The campaign part is pretty good, and you don't really have to do too much effort to try to upgrade your skills in order to actually complete the campaign to make it easier in a way, I guess. So you can just play the campaign, hit some of the storylines where you'll be able to update your character, upgrade your character enough that the boss fights or the not really the boss fights, but yeah, actually yeah, the boss fight or the main characters to fight would be challenging enough where sometimes you'll get killed, sometimes you'll just figure stuff out and you'll beat them, but it's not like a one-sided game, right? Which I really like. I don't want to be overpowered where you're just killing everybody anyways when I'm doing any game. In that sense, yes. So TLDR, I had fun with the game. It was amazing. And the world boss fight too. I've never done any MMO type gaming, and the world boss where you team up with other people all around the world who's also playing the game too. So fight the boss with a team. That was a great experience. I had fun with that. I'm gonna get the game. That's it. So if that's what you're waiting for a casual gamer, the campaign is pretty good. I mean, we just got a snippet of it for the beta, and the mechanics is pretty good. The graphics pretty good. I really like the graphics. I guess the only lacking part is you can't really zoom too much. Sometimes I'd like to just zoom to the character while you're in one spot and then just kind of see how it works with the action or the visuals when you're just walking around or kind of like in the town. I'd like to kind of zoom more and just walk around and just get more details basically. Now back to the game, right? So I did start with the rogue character. So I did start with a rogue character, thinking of creating a Legolas or a elf or archer type character. So I've gone through through the campaigns with this character, and then I shifted because of time. It was like just a I think Friday to Monday, but of course we got scheduled things to do on the weekends and things like that. So I actually had to ask the wife like, oh, I need a couple of hours here and there just to kind of go through this game. And from my rogue character, I decided to just go to the magician sorcerer type character. So I moved to that. So I created a sorceress type or a witch type character where it's mainly because of the effects and the graphics. I just like it's not that I don't like the barbarian or actually the druid I was interested in because of the shape shifting capability, but on that weekend I just concentrated on the necro because of course it's like time and it's less a 3 day thing, right? It's for the beta, or wait, was it 3 days or 4 days? So I think access was Friday, but I was at work anyway, so I couldn't really play on it or test it out. Now going back on the sorceress, I was able to complete the campaign with the sorcerers and level up to 25 and get to fight the world boss. So I was able to fight the final. I think I did fight what was that, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. So I did get to fight that the world boss, which was the first time I fought the world boss. So it was really fun, and it was an amazing experience. And it I think that piece got me because I've never really played any MMO and this game. And the last time I played online. P versus P game was, I believe, Warcraft, where you log online and you kind of group randomly with some people or with a couple of friends if you have friends playing with you, anyways, and then fight it out. So that was kind of the last time I was playing that kind of game. So that was good. So yeah, on the first beta weekend, I was actually able to do this without putting too much time on crawling or farming or powering up, basically, or whatever term you want to use to increase the levels of your character. So I think that's a good sign too, because casual gamers, they don't really have that much time to spend on that. I was actually more interested in the campaign, so I actually finished the campaign first and then kind of hit a couple of dungeons here, the cellars and all of that stuff, and then went for the world boss, basically. So that's how I kind of did it. So on the second beta weekend, I created a necro character. So it's more of like a shaman style necro character that I thought would be cool, where he would have his own army of the dead, basically. So yeah, so that was a cool power. Yeah, I did choose him because more of the graphics, of course, and the ability of like creating a undead army. So all in all, my experience was pretty good. So actually going through all of it, I guess let's start with the bad for the two beta weekends, right? So for the two beta weekends, so remember, this is beta, right? So this will probably get fixed. A lot of them probably get fixed. Most of the issues I encountered will probably get fixed, and it probably would even be a better game once it launches on June, right? So let's start with the bad. Like I always like, starting with the bad. First off, the queue was too long. I think for the first beta weekend, there was a time when I tried to log in where it gave me like 188 minutes or something, like some ridiculous time like that. I believe I left the PC just trying to connect. I left it alone. I did some errands, came back after a while and did get in. But yeah, it was plagued with connection issues. I got dropped a couple of times too. I got kicked out. The connection issues too. Even on the second week, it was less, but I still got kicked out a couple of times too. But on the second week, I actually left even though I was out, like doing IRL stuff, basically. I left my computer on and logged in just to make sure that when I come back, I won't have issues trying to connect again to the server. So I'm sure a lot of people did that because I saw a lot of characters just literally there and standing around just like me. That was on the second weekend. On the first weekend, I was just in and out and I tried to connect. So basically, connection issues, which will probably get fixed because this is a beta, right? And there were invisible barriers in some places. So I'm not sure if they're going to put in a barrier but there were a couple of, I think there was a dungeon or a couple of dungeons that had that barrier. And also going out of the what's that the main town, what was that, Kyoshavad, whatever the main town is, the main town, going out, there seems to be an invisible barrier from time to time. But the resolution that I noticed to kind of go through that is go back to the waypoint area in the center of the town and then go out on the same gate. Then I'll be able to go through, basically. That barrier will probably disappear. Maybe they have a logic around it, like where you're going or stepping, something to do with that. So maybe they were expecting, if you're doing a campaign or what, that you should be walking at a certain area before they let you like open that particular invisible block, basically. So those are the main ones. So that I encountered, the connection issues, those barriers. Oh, also when because I was testing the streaming too. When I was streaming, the game was kind of laggy. So when I wasn't streaming, I'm not sure if it was because if the beta software was interacting with OBS, or if it's something to do with the graphics card itself, which I'm not too sure. Probably not, because I was able, I've been able to stream some games anyways, with no issues like that. There were even a couple of times OBS got stopped or got kicked out, or closed the stream. Yeah, got kicked out. So it could be there could be some interactions with the software or something like that. I don't know, but I was successfully able to stream, I guess, on the second beta, the last stream I did for the boss fight, I was able to stream with no issues. So it could just be a bug, a software bug, or even on my machine, maybe the driver or whatever I had just had some issues. I don't know. Oh, also, this is what I found different too. So on the first beta, I was able to play full screen, but on the second beta, it didn't give me that full screen option. It only gave me the windowed full screen, which I found odd. So I was still able to play okay. It was just odd that I had that because sometimes if it's a windowed full screen, so sometimes my cursor would actually go out to the next monitor. So I have a multi-monitor setup. Sometimes it'll just cross to the next monitor, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? I'll be kind of confused because I'm not really in general when I'm playing. It's always full screen, and my mouse don't does not move out of the monitor I'm gaming on. So those are kind of the bad things, but remember it's beta, so those probably get fixed. So the other characters, basically, I'm not too sure because I didn't play them, so I'm not sure if they have any issues. But all in all, those were the issues I encountered. Now the good, right? So the good. As a casual gamer, I don't really. I mean, I game as much as I can squeeze in. The main story I really liked. The main story is interesting. I like the campaign, so I did enjoy that piece. And then during the campaign, you do get to increase your abilities and all of that. I like the hack and slash aspect, and actually the MMO part where we're working with a team to fight the world boss. That's really pretty cool. I'm just wondering if how will they do that. Maybe let's say if you're a single player and you just want to play a single player. I'm not sure if in the actual game when it goes live, if you'll even have the ability to play as a single player with maybe NPCs helping you or working with you to fight the world boss. I'm not too sure if they're really guiding you to this type MMO style of game. Then so I'm not sure if they're going to schedule it to maybe for working people at night or early in the morning on a weekend, something like that, basically. So that'll be fun. I mean, I'll squeeze in some time if let's say I don't have any other priorities. I'll squeeze in a good fight with a world boss because I did enjoy that piece too of the game. Hopefully, the story there's nothing forced in the story, so they'll continue the story to whichever end it goes to. And yeah, I do like that aspect, the storyline, the gaming, the gameplay, and it's fairly easy. It's not complex to kind of figure out your stuff. Of course, the skill set and creating. The more you get into the game, people will probably get to develop, or if they want to, they can dig deep into those and those other skill sets too. But I think for like casual players who's just going to play the single player type game, hopefully even though they need to, of course, they need to increase their levels. Hopefully, it won't be too hard for them, right? Hopefully, it won't be too hard to increase it where you get to defeat the bosses, not necessarily like be over, be OP and just beat them easily, but kind of have that ability to beat them without trying to like spend all the time for farming or improving your skill. So not spending hours and hours and hours just to farm and improve your skill for a certain level. Because yeah, I did enjoy fighting bosses or area, the those bosses in the center dungeon or whatever, and then I'll get killed, stuff like that, and then I'll figure out a way to fight, to defeat them without even trying to get out and then increase my skills or XP and then go back and fight the boss again. So there were cases where I'll get killed and then I'll notice that I get trapped and I get all of those effects on me, like let's say poison, freeze, and everything like that. So I'll figure out a way to kind of avoid that and kind of kill them one by one, or kind of kind of find a way or find a strategy to kill them without trying to level up first and then coming back and defeat them. So those kinds of things is good because it won't be fun if you're very OP and then you're just wiping them all out, and it also won't be fun if you can't defeat a certain level boss. So I think that has to do with the level, right? So a certain level boss that you should be able to defeat, or the boss should also be able to defeat you if if you don't have the right strategy. Basically, the movements is easy to understand, though. I actually was looking to have a movement. I'm not sure if they're going to do that in the full release, where you could move with the arrow keys or the WASD buttons on the keyboard while you're using your mouse as kind of a pointer for attacks, because that's kind of how I'm used to playing. If not, it's still okay, but it's just it took me a while to get used to just the click movement and click attack type thing. So it it just takes a little bit of getting used to, and then when you're used to it, you kind of just okay, that's okay. That's just how the game is built, anyways. But if they do have the ability in the future to kind of move with a separate buttons, I'll probably change it to that kind of format for my own personal use case, basically. So yeah, the graphics too. It's nice. I really like the graphics, how the effects are, and then the cellar and dungeon system. So the dungeons seem to be repeating themselves in some cases, but I didn't go to all the dungeons. I didn't try to like kill all the bosses and stuff like that. So then the cellar is pretty good too, because it's just small, and if you don't want to spend too much time running around the dungeon trying to open the doors or trying to get some crystals or blood or whatever and put it back in and then finish the dungeon. A cellar challenge is actually pretty good. You go in, you fight, you get some gold, you get some stuff, and then you can move on to the next stuff if either you want to do a campaign or you want to go somewhere else, or do a side quest. So yeah, so all in all, I would say the game is pretty good. I will definitely get the game, and my friends too. The only friends that are still gaming. So, at my age, a lot of them are not. One of my friends actually did the beta too, and he did have fun. But the other one too said, yeah, the other one actually said he'll just wait for the full release so that he can just go on and straight play the game and finish it, and then and see what happens on the if there's a on the PvP side. But this friend of mine does League of Legends games, so he's probably familiar with this type of gaming, anyways. Okay, so one good thing about this too is I was actually waiting for the God of War Ragnarok to be released on the PC, because I'm not gonna buy a PS5 just for Ragnarok, or even for Final Fantasy 16, anyways. So I was waiting for Ragnarok to come out. If this game wasn't this fun, I would have just either waited for God of War Ragnarok, or I would have bought the Hogwarts game. So now, since it's coming out, what, couple of months, June, right? So I'll probably just end up waiting for this game. Not that I'm not getting Ragnarok, but once I get this game, I'll be playing this until I'm probably finished with the campaign, or the initial campaign, because it seems like it's gonna be they're gonna make it like a rolling game, right? A rolling season, something like a movie type thing. So probably play this and then get Ragnarok if it comes, or when it comes to the PC. Maybe it'll come like after a year or so, which is, I think, a kind of a bad move for them, because the more games like this that comes out for the PC, get these types of games and push those other games back. So this is a good thing too for Diablo 4, because they released it in all the for the consoles and the PC. So yeah, and once I play this, I think this will be a long game coming. So maybe I won't even get any other games until I'm done with this primarily. So yeah, that's another plus for this game, and a loss for the other games. And yeah, so that's it. So I hope this helps, and if you're a casual gamer like me, maybe I'll see you online. But yep, I did enjoy the game. I enjoyed the graphics, and I'll probably catch you in Diablo 4. Thanks.